Hello everyone,
Hello.
I guess we're back. So we just saw Ward27 goes 3-1 against Android, uh, securing himself a final round position. I'm back again with Rathios to cast the final
Hello.
game. So Seiliez versus Ward27. What do you
Should
think?
be interesting. Seiliez definitely a far longer established player. But we'll see what Ward can do. He's been playing pretty well today. He's had, aside from the odd kind of play here and there where we've perhaps questioned it, he's definitely been showing up. His decks have been pretty solid. Should be an interesting set.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So we have uh Ward27 is bringing once again the same decks as last time. This time the format is Conquest, not Last Hero Standing, so we will get to see every single player play all of their non-ban decks. So Ward27 will be bringing Mage, Paladin, Druid, and Warlock. And we see Seiliez bringing Hunter, Druid, Priest, and Paladin, which is an odd lineup, uh, especially
Do we
after
expect anything else from him, though?
I mean, it's a strange lineup considering he went aggro shaman 3 games in a row in the open. So,
Hmm.
choosing to take Hunter this time, Hunter and Paladin, both underplayed classes at the moment, underpowered classes even. Um, it's a bit of a
I'm sure
surprise.
he'll find a way to make it work. We'll see what he pulls off.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see this. Um, so yeah, bans have gone through, and I believe Seiliez has had his priest banned, and Ward27 has had his druid banned. So that's interesting. So I think Seiliez maybe choosing to ban the druid based on his lineup. Uh, I don't
Could
know.
be. I mean, we've definitely seen Ward get a lot of decent play out of his tempo mage deck, so it'll be interesting to see that one played. And of course, as you mentioned before, we really don't know what's going to come out of Solis's decks, so this could be very interesting.
Definitely.
See how it matches up. If he can get, I mean, if anything on Solis's side is particularly early cost heavy, it could really play in a way that upsets the tempo mage. And knowing that that's one of Ward's better decks, we'll see how he copes with it.
I think one of the big things is particularly based on this ban, the druid ban, is maybe Seiliez is very comfortable playing against aggro. Um, because we see the only slow deck in Ward27's lineup being banned out, and the priest ban from Ward27 indicates that Ward27 would also like to play against an aggro lineup. He doesn't want to have to deal with the slow priest lineup. Um, but I think Seiliez has had a bit of a spread lineup here. He has two what we think might be quick decks, and two of what we think might be slow decks. Obviously, the Paladin is still a wild card at this point. Don't know what to expect from that. So yeah, uh, I guess it's time to see what they'll bring. I've just received word that the players are ready, so
Let's go. Let's go.
and here we go. Well, straight into game one. Polishing spectacles.
Finding your friend's table. Here we go, and it's a Hunter versus Mage first match. So this could be so definitely a Reno Leroy deck. I'm guessing on the part of no, not Leroy. Sorry, Reno
Nazoth.
Nazoth
Yeah.
deck on the part of Seiliez, and for Ward.
It's the tempo mage.
Standard tempo mage, as we expect. Nice to have that Barnes start, actually, on the part of...
Yeah, I see a nice curve on Seiliez's side with the King's
Yeah.
Alec, Eaglehorn Bow, and Barnes. A lot of answers here. I expect him to coin out the King's Alec too. Oh no, he's choosing not to. He's choosing to conserve his mana. I suppose he doesn't want to have that dead turn 2, allowing a free kill on the King's Alec.
Yeah. Let's see what he pulls with this King's Alec. This should go in his favour. Yes, it does. Infested Tauren.
Infested Tauren is a good pickup here because we did see the N'Zoth in the mulligan.
That will definitely play to his favour. Arcane Missiles just to get a bit of clear.
Arcane Missile tempo play here. Arcane Missiles with the ping.
Ward's hand is actually curve-wise definitely in his favour to some degree. He's got some nice early. He's got the Water Elemental in. Means he can start countering some of the earlier minion plays. But the kill command will go a long way on Seiliez's part to back that back.
We see the Eaglehorn Bow coming out, removing the early threats, but obviously the Water Elemental against the Eaglehorn Bow isn't that strong, and it may force a kill command off curve.
I think it's probably safe with the Infested Tauren for now. I mean, now we haven't. Have we seen Ward's Mage yet? We haven't, have we?
No, it was banned out in the last. Actually, we may have seen it in your series in the first round. I mean, I'm not sure if he's made any alterations to the deck since then.
I can't really remember too much of it, to be honest. But like, you can certainly say, I mean, if he has a there's the kill command. Interesting. Yeah, so if and there's the hit with that. Anyway, I was going to say if he had the ooze, that probably wouldn't be too painful a play. Now the mirror entity will definitely be helpful if the Barnes comes out soon. So we'll have to see what happens. Sorry, not the Barnes, the Ragnaros.
He is on 6 mana, so he can't play the Ragnaros for at least
another
turn.
But he's got cards in his hand to keep him up for the next couple of turns.
Yeah, I expect a Barnes coming out from Seiliez.
1, 2. That is incredibly unlucky.
He may need to use his Frostbolt here.
So that's you. That
Ward27 always emoting after his bad RNG.
Astounding. Amazing. I guess pinging that is probably his best bet and leaving it for a second ping next turn, but that does mean forfeiting 3 damage. So we'll see. Yeah, there's the ping.
It.
No?
He's considering pinging face.
That's pinging face, okay.
He is. I think he's opting for aggression here. I think he feels comfortable with the Flame Strike next turn. I think that is what he's planning to do. He wants to Flame Strike this turn. Remove everything on the board.
That loot hoard is definitely going to pay off. That's really nice on the part of Seiliez to get some extra cycle. Start bringing out some of his earlier cards as well. Not the strongest card that he could have got, obviously, but not a bad one to get from Barnes. I think you're right. I think he had already realised that he was going to... Oh, and there's the...
It's a Finley Muggleton.
Muggleton.
Yeah, we can expect the Ragnaros here, baiting out whatever sort of removal that would...
really is a shame that he couldn't get down the... I mean, that's actually 3 exact hits from Ragnaros, so that's very dangerous. The Polymorph will clear it up, though. Yeah.
It's just a shame
it really
he
is.
wasn't able to get the Mirror Entity down.
Yeah,
on that turn. He
that's
wasn't expecting the Ragnaros that turn.
no.
Mirror Entity coming down now.
Goes down now. I mean, the best it can cover really is a. I mean, there's a chance.
Oh, and he plays around it fantastically with the top deck 1/1.
Over here.
We see Infest coming out. He could use it here. I mean, we could see. I can expect him to fish for the Mage Hero power here.
I would expect either opting for the mage or the
Druid potentially.
perhaps even the warrior. The armor up. There we go. So he's got the fire blast if he wants it. The armor up would do him nicely as well. But yeah, and there's the infest. That's a really nice turn for him. Definitely paying off. And an iron foe grizzly. Yeah. So the double fireball in hand definitely playing to his favour. If he were to use the firelands now, he could lethal next turn and it would force the Reno.
He could. It would also put in some board presence, something to trade into.
Or even Frostbolt for that matter, actually. Frostbolt would put in range for pick. Yep, so there's the firelands.
The firelands is probably the safest play.
Well, the thing with...
Alizel, not a bad pickup. He could use
that is an incredibly nice pickup for the...
yeah, he could heal.
He has to clear that next turn.
Choosing to go for the face. He's giving up his hand a little bit. But he is also healing for 3 here. Yeah,
I'm expecting there's the Reno, absolutely. But the double fireball means that he gets 12 free health next turn if he wants it. And the kobold, so that actually becomes 14 free health.
Do we see him using this turn to heal? That is using a lot of his burn.
It's a lot of burn, so it's a dangerous position to be in.
I mean, obviously the main concern is if he does opt to trade in the Halazel into the 3/3, he does lose the Halazel to
Reno.
Well, assuming he fireballs the Reno, he does lose the Halazel next turn. At the same time,
of course,
he
the
has
trades.
he has no other spells in hand beyond the 2 fireballs. Choosing to not use a fireball this turn.
Interesting.
He is comfortable with the life total at the moment. Possibly
so 15...
trying to hide the 2 fireballs in hand.
It's a smart move. What he's got on the board will do a comfortable 12 damage, and what he has in hand does a further 14. So a ping to the face is, if he's covering the double fireball, a good position to be in.
Doesn't trade with the Halazel, leaving the extra 3 damage up. That's lethal.
There are the 3 animal companions. That is so dangerous, and GG actually.
I think that was a mistake. I mean, that board was quite threatening. He should have expected the animal companion coming out there.
Or even that. I mean, knowing that that the beasts, that 2 of the minions left on the board had the ability to pass random beasts back into Seiliez's hands, it really would have been much safer to wipe those and force the play instead of getting some free trade out and having those beasts in hand. Odd. But still. Yeah, a good bout of early aggression, and he definitely pushed Seiliez back to the ropes for a minute there.
Yeah.
If only for a turn.
I don't know. I think that match could have gone differently if he hadn't tried to greed for the lethal there. I think he had several opportunities to take care of that board, and it cost him the game. Okay, so we're loading into the second game now. And we see Seiliez bringing out his Paladin.
I will fight with honor.
And Ward27 opting to keep his Tempo Mage for this game. Both players have rather weak curves. Now this does look like hand buff Paladin, so it is control, but a slightly different type of control. Yeah, we see all the control tools coming out here. We were expecting Finja, but we got a different type of control Paladin.
So the Consecrate early will buy him a nice bit of board clear when it comes down to having, say, this Kobold Geomancer and possibly the Sorcerer's Apprentice coming out in a turn or two. Gives a nice bit of board presence.
I think in terms of answers, we're just one wild Pyromancer away from having everything here on the part of Seiliez. So he does have a lot of answers to whatever aggression Ward27 can put out with this Tempo Mage. We can maybe expect Ward27 to take it slow here and opt to take the Arcane Intellect route, drawing into more Psycho. He could potentially ping and play off curve if he feels comfortable with his hand. It's not a bad hand, but at the same time I do feel like using that mana is quite important here in the early stages of the game against a control deck.
There's the ping. It's odd. I would have expected him to go for making the most of having a and there's the Doomsayer.
And we see a Doomsayer response, slowing the game down, lowering the cost of the Solemn Vigil. He will be able to Solemn Vigil next turn if he wishes.
Yeah, again, I'm surprised we didn't see the Arcane Intellect last turn. In such a slow-paced first set of turns, it would have made sense to have got a bit of extra draw and made the most of it. That said, doing the same now would be very much in his benefit. So we'll see what Frostbolt. Interesting.
I think the biggest concern with he is trying to remove it. Interesting. He wants to keep this Geomancer. At the same time, this has cost him a Frostbolt. Against the Paladin with the weapons and high health minions, a lot of taunts, Frostbolt's quite helpful. Oh.
Very interesting. Very much to his benefit there. That's a really nice pickup. It does seem to like a lot to have burnt for a single Geomancer. I think he was aware that the his hand content wasn't quite. That's very vulnerable to a Consecrate. We can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Oh.
Consecrate into. I'd guess the Solemn Vigil. Yeah, that is a 1-mana Solemn Vigil.
And there's a Ragnaros as well.
I mean, that Solemn Vigil and the Consecrate and the Doomsayer, it's already given away that Seiliez is playing a control deck. And I don't think Ward27 is adjusted to that. I think he is still playing this as if he's playing against Tempo. And this is probably the first move where we've seen Ward27 make any sort of anti-control turn. And it's hurting him. He's behind at the moment. Although the board does look even with the development, I think giving a control player this many free turns, this many cards in hand is quite dangerous. And we can see from we can see from Seiliez's hand that there are a lot of answers here. And we have the Pyromancer equality combo, we have Doomsayer, we have a Ragnaros Light Lord for that he can actually pull out anytime he wants. Obviously, I think the Polymorph is a threat, but maybe I think the Light Lord early won't be too bad, considering I'm expecting a Tyrion in this deck. So
I mean, on the other side of this, having the Doomsayer on board would essentially mean a load of free damage on. I mean, there are so many options on Seiliez's side. There's the True Silver. Opting to trade into the Faceless Summoner. That makes perfect sense just to clear out a bit. Yeah, to have this many cards in hand now is definitely a nice position for Seiliez.
He is under threat of overdrawing. He has to play something here. He's choosing to go for the Doomsayer. He could burn the coin too, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has to burn the coin here. Yeah, he'll likely just hero power.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, that's a good catch by Seiliez. He was close to overdrawing there. I think in this situation, it's probably not a bad move to use the Firelands portal. I think Ward27 is in a position where he's been playing off curve the entire game, and at this point, maybe he has to play as if he's 1 mana behind. I
mean, the issue with the Firelands portal really is that, again, there are answers to it in Seiliez's hands. The equality, even if the Dark Scale, not the best. I mean, not a bad thing to pull out, as we all know. There are cards that you can get from that Firelands that will do you far less good than a Dark Scale. But at the same time, even if something good had been pulled out, the equality would really have just been a free answer to that. Opting to go into the Acolyte of Pain there.
We see a Grime Street Enforcer picked up. From this board position, Seiliez is just, quite far ahead. That Grime Street Enforcer needs to be removed immediately, and the only immediate answer we see is a Polymorph. If that Polymorph goes down, that's a free Tyrion. That's a buff Tyrion coming down.
I mean, we never know. He could choose to Arcane Intellect and see what he gets from the cycle.
Well, Arcane Intellect, the Arcane Intellect ping is also an option, sacrificing. He is opting for the Polymorph.
It's the Polymorph. That's a very risky Polymorph, to say the least.
And once again, he is fully aware that this is control he is up against, and playing Paladin himself, he knows that there's a Tyrion to be afraid of.
There is a friendly Tazdingo, but
Light Lord. Insects.
And back to healing the face. That's put Ward in a very dangerous position now. I'm struggling to see an easy way out of this. Even with an Arcane Intellect Fireball, he'll still need to...
I think the only answer is a Polymorph. I think Polymorphing last turn was a mistake. He should have Arcane Intellected there.
Opting to go for the Azure Drake here, it seems.
He needs the cycle, definitely. I think what he's looking for is a Fireball if he does use the Azure Drake. Choosing to go...
Arcane Intellect, that's a smart move.
Not bad. Firelands Portal does trade in with the Light Lord.
Yeah.
And it is also a tempo play since it does develop a 5 cost minion. And a strong one at that. That was very much needed. Trading in, very good. So as you say, yeah, that's the first time really we've seen a decent tempo style play from the
Mage on Ward's side. Obviously, this is a deck that's difficult to cope against when you're in a position like Ward is, but still.
Ward has some comfortable answers here. He could.
So the Arcane Missiles followed by the... Oh,
Yep, it's the same thing. He's
the
playing
Kobolds,
the
yep.
Kobold Geomancer, spreading out his RNG a little bit, and then he's got the
Right.
Ooze as well to play at the end.
The
He's
ping
opting to
rather
ping.
than...
Actually, yeah, saving the Arcane Intellect is probably a smart idea here. Sorry, the Arcane Missiles.
Arcane Missiles.
Immediately removing the 5/3. That is a fantastic play there. It's perfectly calculated.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
So there we go. That trades into the Ooze. And the 2/4... I have to say, having the 2/4 Acolyte of Pain is very nice. For... I mean, the Grand Street Enforcer did a lot of work for Seiliez, to say the least. Bring up the strength of that, of Ragnaros and those 2 Pyromancers as well.
Damage control at the moment for Ward27. I don't know, I think we're in a position where Ward27 can't exactly go to fatigue. He needs to take down this paladin immediately. 2 big threats have been removed, so he's not out of this.
Unfortunately, the control really is going to stall out this game pretty much indefinitely, it looks like, on the side of the Paladin. He needs to pull off some kind of combos to... Interesting. That's the 4/4.
Reporting for duty.
Wicker Flame Burn Bristle coming out.
And again, having the Aldor Peacekeeper to cover the secret was a very good move. It just meant he didn't have to worry about... I mean, having that Wicker Flame Burn Bristle would not have been the nicest thing. Mirror Entity or Polymorph, for that matter, on the side of... put onto the side of Seiliez.
Definitely. Interesting thing about Wicker Flame Burn Bristle, I'm not sure if you know this, but I saw this browsing the Hearthstone subreddit earlier today, and apparently if Wicker Flame Burn Bristle is on the board at the same time as a Organized Soul Priest, obviously on the same side, every time Wicker Flame Burn Bristle does damage, it heals your hero. But obviously with Organized Soul Priest it does damage to your own hero, and that actually counts for triggering the effect. So what that means is, as soon as damage is dealt to Wicker Flame Burn Bristle with the Organized Soul Priest on board, that is an instant kill. So you can be on whatever health you want to be at, but it will immediately kill you.
Interesting. Right, so there's the
Likely
hand
seeing
show.
equality combo. We'll probably see one more draw first. Yep, there it is.
Let me think.
Oh, choosing to... Okay, he's opting for trade at this point.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
It's a well-managed trade as well. I mean, it's definitely come off in his favour.
Reporting for duty.
Now, he has the
Keeping
Hancho
the
in
Draco
hand.
live, though. Keeping the Drake alive, though, I'm not so sure about. I mean...
Well, it's a 1 HP minion. It's gonna trade in anyway, and... You know, it's gonna be a positive trade either way. I think the 1 spell damage from 22 HP, while he has a Forbidden Healing in hand, is not a problem.
It's true, but at the same time, it's a... it leaves liable for a bit more clear on the side of. There we go, and that's the. I mean, obviously, we've seen far less fortunate arcane missiles.
Follow the rule.
There's another Aldor.
Reporting for duty.
Seiliez is really stalling this game out. I think the position that we're at, if this goes to fatigue with the Forbidden Healing and the Don Hancho in hand,
It's definitely going to.
as Seiliez hovers over the 2 cards that we mentioned.
It's almost like he's listening.
Of course he isn't. That would be cheating.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
I mean, the only thing that could make this any worse of a stall-out game for Ward would be if there's a normal Ragnaros in there as well. Because at that stage it really is kill or be killed, isn't it? But there's the Cone of Cold. Ping and yep.
Ward27, he's down to his last card at this point in hand, and if we quickly just hover over, he has 6 cards left in his deck, and I don't know, with Wild Pyromancer Equality in hand and a Consecration, I don't see any way out of this. Choosing to use the arcane missiles, trying to rush the game down. I
mean, unless he can pull out a 0-cost Pyroblast at this stage.
By the holy light, by the holy light. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. By the holy light.
There's the chill winds, and unfortunately that equality consecration is just gonna put an end to that one. Or even, sorry, the Pyromancer equality.
Yeah. Leading up to a Don. He's choosing to Solemn Vigil here, pulling him closer to fatigue, but
Oh,
does that matter? Oh, there's the
Grime
Leroy
Street.
as well.
There's, I mean, with the Leroy in hand,
If
I can't see this going any other way.
If he plays the Don Hancho, Leroy,
Now, a
Blessed
Pyroblast
Champion,
hit, no.
that's an OTK.
Yeah. The Pyroblast was the only way out here, and no luck, unfortunately.
I highly doubt he's running the Pyroblast.
I don't know, I've heard from some people that Pyroblast is arguably the best card in the game.
Don Hancho coming up. I think this is an OTK attempt on the part of
And just giving himself a little more health. Yeah, I think he's okay.
damage in hand at the moment. So even if this board is removed, unless he can also heal up at least 7 more damage. Yeah, this is definitely it. Leroy Jenkins.
The face! Not the face!
Negative 14 overkill. That's a rough way to go. Seiliez showing that Paladin maybe still has a place. So that means Seiliez at this point is down to his last deck, and it is. If I double check, it will be his druid, and Ward27 is free to take whichever deck he feels like. Okay, we are going into the next game.
Malfurion versus Gul'dan.
So Ward27 changing it up a little bit, seeing that he hasn't been having much success with his tempo mage. Sorry, I forgot the archetype. The tempo mage is deciding to try up his zoo. And his zoo was the most successful in the last series. It did win.
Won 2 of the 3 games quite comfortably. Let's see what happens.
So based on this is a control deck, definitely, and I'm not sure which control deck. Choosing not to take the Jade Blossom indicates that this could be a combo deck. It's definitely not Jade, and we are seeing Cycle and Delay here. Especially with a Naturalize in there. I mean...
2 Naturalizers actually at this stage because of that very nice pickup from the Raven Idol. I mean... Let's see what happens. So comes the... Yep, there it is, the Shattered Sun Cleric.
Playing the Shattered Sun Cleric, that's a 4-3 going straight to face.
Got a bit of early damage down. I think it's a good start, particularly, you know, when you've got no idea what you're up against.
Feral Rage coming out, that's a good card to help remove the threats on this board.
Oh. So, no, it's a swipe, actually. That's interesting.
Opting for a swipe.
That's a really... That's not a swipe I would generally choose to take, just because you've over damaged one and under damaged the other, and it does leave you open to cards like the Crusader.
Yeah, the Abusive Sergeant damage in particular, I think. Choosing to naturalize the 3-1. I don't know if this is good for him. I mean, I think when you're up against Zulok, maybe a mulch is better than a naturalize. I mean, he is clearing the board using that innovate. He did hold on to that innovate last turn. That led to him taking an extra 3 damage, 5 with the Abusive Sergeant development. But it did allow him to develop his second-rate Bruiser for 3 mana. So maybe that was his plan the whole time, expecting Ward27 to develop 2 minions in that turn as opposed to the 1. It was turn 4, so it was a bit of a gamble, I think, on the part of Seiliez.
Well, I know this is an odd thing to suggest, but it almost looks like Seiliez has opted to go for a deck to force fatigue on the part of Ward. Opting for the second naturalize.
Yeah, I do see a Cold Light Oracle there. I mean,
I can only assume he's got 2. There's the Doomsayer.
Is this mill or is it? The problem is this could be mill. Well, mill is an archetype that Zoo is historically actually quite strong against. So that is
being
one
able
possibility.
to continuously pull out minions. Yeah.
Yeah. So the mill is one possibility. The other possibility, of course, is choosing to take out the 3-2, fearing any soul fires. This is a good pickup actually on. So if Ward27 dumps his entire hand, chooses not to do that. He could still use the Murlocs, the Murloc Tidehunter, to try and take some shots at the I forget the name. Sorry, the Doomsayer. And the damage on the Doomsayer could be translated into a Mortal Coil finish, though he could also just opt to use the Power Overwhelming. Oh, instead
he's just going for face.
He's choosing to sacrifice the Knife Guard. Now that's a massive tempo loss.
There's a Moonglade Portal.
Oh, and a Wind Fury Harpy pickup. That's unfortunate. I suppose with the Divine Shield and the Mortal Coil, he does have the perfect mana to take care of this. He does have to take care of this.
The Mortal Coil giving him a nice little bit of cycle, so I'm sure that's much appreciated on his end.
Oh, we don't know. If this is indeed Mill, then
it will come back to bite him, I'm sure.
Based on the way he's playing.
Oh, the Jade Idol. If this is Mill, the Jade Idol would be very no. Okay.
He's choosing to opt for the immediate removal. This is probably the smarter decision, simply because Zoo is the type of archetype that likes to control the board, and it's very strong against Druid in particular, because Druid historically, I say historically, even now, it's just very bad at removal. It only has the 2 swipes and the Wrath and the Feral Rages.
Starkle as well.
So Starfall is quite an inefficient card, especially when you compare it with the other classes, and when you see cards like Flame Strike, Holy Nova, Consecration.
Yeah, I see what you mean on the wider, in terms of wider damage. But I mean, Starfire, for example, with a draw after 5 damage is never an unfortunate thing to have in hand.
Bronzebeard. No, if he plays a Cold Light Oracle here, this is indeed Mill.
Unfortunately, not going to force any overdraw there, but getting the Wrath and the Moonglade, which I'm sure he's very happy about, and now forcing the overdraw. That works out very nicely for him. Oh, no, that's not overdrawn.
It is. The Strangleform Tiger was burnt.
I thought I saw that last one going in, I was confused.
So Ward27, so quite surprised to see a full hand as a Zoo, but this is Zoo! you have a lot of low-cost minions, so I think it's time to just dump them all.
I mean, he's seen both of the not Flameseer. You know what I mean. The end is coming.
The Doomsayers.
The Doomsayers. There we go. He's seen both of the Doomsayers come out at this stage. We've seen one swipe come out, and swipe won't clear the entire board, and the Argent Squire won't fall to the swipe either. A Wrath will clear something, but not too much. That's an interesting play.
No, he's played it to empty his hand in such a... Oh, if he was planning to trade, that is a misplay. He has lost a 1-1. Now expect the Wrath to be used to remove the 4-3 here. A Mulch is drawn, so he is running double Naturalized, double Mulch. have to say though, this board position, it's fairly even at the moment. I think Ward27 is in a position to still take this. The Feral Rage and Moonglade Portal are probably the biggest threats at this point. With
I mean,
the
the
8 armor
3/6
and the
cost
6
is
heal.
definitely.
Yeah, that's a 14 extra. Wait, sorry, is that 14? Yeah, 14 extra HP to get through.
Looking at the card counts, that's 6 to 12. If Seiliez can just keep stalling out the game as he has been, he's definitely in a good position.
See Dark Iron Dwarfs coming down. We'll likely see the Fairy Dragon here too. And I expect him to go all face here. I think that is the strongest play.
Yeah, definitely. Like being this far up on board against what is now definitely a mill druid.
He's opting for a trade with the
Interesting.
Drake. That's
The Drake makes sense.
it makes sense. He's afraid of the swipe coming out. Moving
And
the Bran. Maybe that's to make space. I think he wants a swipe here to remove the low HP minions. But he doesn't
there
want
was
it
a
to
Jade Idol in the deck. Okay, that makes sense. And now he's got the gadget as well to keep that going. See what the 3/6 cost he gets. The Whirlbot. Was that Whirlbot? Sorry, no. Wind up Ogrebot.
But whenever this attacks a minion survives, draw a card. It's a card I've not actually seen before. I've never drawn that from any portals or anything.
I'm surprised he went for the Jade Idol before having the gadgets amped down. That said, it's not like it will backfire too much, I don't think. He's had plenty of draw this turn, and he's just looking to stall out the game.
Well, that's assuming that he's running multiple gadgets, and I think if he is running only one gadget, then it makes sense.
I know, I was assuming he was running only one, and that's why I was anticipating
Well,
having
I think it's
the...
too early in the game to cycle on his side because he has 14 cards in deck.
Oh,
compared
no,
to
absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised to have seen the Jade Idol get shuffled in so early.
Oh yes.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
I mean, that essentially puts filler in his deck. When he's in a position where really he wants to have valuable draws, and drawing 1/1s and 2/2s not going to be too helpful. If he were to draw both of his Jade Idols just now, he'd be in a bad position.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do agree with that. Now, it is time for the Feral Rage, I think. For Seiliez. Oh, he is
There's
running
the
a
Starfall.
Starfall. Oh my. That is a surprising turn of events. That
So
Starfall clears most of this board.
that explains why he was holding on to the Thalmos.
I was expecting it to be held for the swipe, but and then he's going to armor from this, I assume.
That makes sense.
Yep.
And so now it makes sense to have shuffled in that that Jade Idol because he wants to start cycling sooner rather than later. There is a Tazdingo.
Going for face. This game is still closer than it seems.
Ah, and there's the Doomsayer.
Cycling out. Oh, healing. Effectively healing for 7 there.
No, he definitely needs to clear one of these. He's cleared both. Very nice. Okay.
That is not the card.
Corrupted Seer. No, that is not at all what he wants. And a Cabal Courier. This could backfire quite nastily.
I think he needs to play the courier. Every turn that he doesn't play something comes back to hurt him.
I think he definitely needs to go face with this. Yeah,
He has to play
Then-
the courier, I think.
play the Courier. He needs that card. It doesn't matter what it is. He'll need that card. Interesting, and the swipe comes out as now. This is
And
so
this is-
much in the favour of Seiliez. Seiliez, rather. Oh,
and the shuffle
has to go
begins.
straight into the second. That's very nice for Seiliez to have got the second-rate bruiser out there as well.
This is 8
That
damage.
says 8 damage.
He needs to play the courier, hope for a Soulfire or a Power Overwhelming.
He wouldn't be able to. That would be a. Oh no, you're right. There's no
Yes.
lethal on board this turn. Sorry. I forgot how much health he still had.
He does see it. He has to play the courier and hope he gets
Absolutely.
some sort of damage. And no damage.
No demons on board. The mirror entity would definitely be in his favour.
I think the mirror entity is the best play. Oh,
Oh, he went for the
swapping
heal. Interesting.
He can't play the Argent Commander at this point because if he does,
That's his lethal. He needs
he
that.
needs that. He needs to hold it.
No. If he doesn't power overwhelming now, he's in trouble. Like, he needs to force that. There we go. So he's put him down to 1 health.
Well, that's effectively 3 HP, assuming he farmers up here.
Yeah. The second rate goes down.
Yeah, the question is, what other burst does
Oh, the innovate
27 have?
very much playing in his favour. Naturalize,
Naturalize, taking him straight into burn.
forcing the fatigue, and bring out another Jade. So he has the choice of the Jade or the Reinforce. That's
Oh,
interesting.
That's a Soulfire! That's a Soulfire!
That's it.
That's it! Ward 27 is won!
Unfortunately, Seiliez has unwittingly given him lethal.
There it is! What a fantastic
Yeah,
game!
second
Coming
game
down
of
to
them.
the last card. Ward 27 takes a game off of Seiliez.
So that's 2-1.
It's 2-1. Ward 27 now no longer able to play his Warlock.
Yep. So we're back to the choice of either his Tempo Mage or... Now, the other one was the Paladin, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so. Oh, yes, it was the Paladin.
The Druid being banned. He's seen some success with his Paladin, though not the same success that he saw with his Warlock. So this is definitely a painful trade to have lost the deck that he was so much more successful with. We'll see how this goes.